What were you listening to when you were making this record?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. I can't listen to music when I'm making music.
Is that kind of like when you don't want to read someone else's essay because you're
Yes.
worried you're going to copy it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Triple check. Yeah.
Like even standing in an elevator with elevator music is just like, oh. Or like airport lounge music, you know?
Do you listen to podcasts or anything like that? Or is it just...
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
I do. Like just people talking. I love the sound of people talking. In fact, there's a thing on the album at the start of track 11. It's actually just from a podcast that I was listening to. I don't know why. It's these two guys talking. And for some reason, I just felt compelled to put it on the album.
Yeah. I think we've gotten aspects of time from the songs you've released already, particularly Patience as well.
Mm-hmm.
Why was time something that you wanted to explore more on this record?
I don't know, at the end of the day. It's something that's always intrigued me. And it's kind of like, I just love the way, like we as humans, like humans' relationship with time, it just like creates so many different emotions and so many different things. You know, like being obsessed with the past, you know, being obsessed with being overwhelmed with nostalgia and being anxious for the future and being, you know, confident about the future, you know, and living in the moment, all those kind of things. I just think it's such a vast source of inspiration for me, at least, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And certain types of music make me think of memories and make me think of that kind of thing. And I think this kind of music does for me.
So let's talk through some of these tracks individually. Posthumous Forgiveness. This one is such a personal song for you. Do you think the Kevin Parker of 2009 could have written something like this, or is it very much a decade on?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But that's just something that I've gotten better at as my career has gone on, is like that openness. Because every time I've cut off a little bit of myself and put it out there, it's like the reward has been many times over that, you know, like many times worth it. Like seeing people connect with it and hearing people say that they connected with it. So that's kind of something I've just done more and more, and like, yeah.
What did your loved ones think about it when they heard it?
They're really moved.
Yeah.
Really moved, yeah. They're really touched. And I didn't expect that. Yeah, it was because, you know, like me being the one making my music, I don't expect it to be as moving for everyone else. And I forget that it can be powerful. I forget that like I have an ability to make music that can be emotional, you know. So yeah, it was really, really touching.
These drums was one of the first comments I wrote after hearing the first song.
Good.
Just these drums in all caps.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about how you've approached the drums on this record, because they do really feel like a main feature, a standout.
I mean, drums are just the most important thing to me. Like rhythms to me are almost more important than the music. I don't know why that is. I just it's kind of the thing that I spend the most time thinking about and like imagining. If I'm ever just, you know, stressed or like even like watching movies, like I find myself just playing the drums in my head when I'm watching movies. I don't know what it is. It's a way of like, it kind of, it's like a you know, some people have like fidget toys or like beads. Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, the fidget spinner.
Fidget spinner.
Yeah.
It's like a fidget. It's like a mental fidget spinner.
Yeah, wow.
Me thinking of drums. So that obviously ends up informing the music.
Drums are the first instrument you learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, it's probably no coincidence.
What do you think young KP would think about the drums on this record?
I reckon he'd think they're pretty cool.
Yes.
Probably not enough double kick. Probably not enough Ben Gillies frog stomp double kick.
Amp it up.
But yeah, I hope he would have been pleased.
Yeah. So Lost in Yesterday has themes of Groundhog Day, which again is really tapping into that notion of time. Hey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's about like nostalgia as a drug to which we are all addicted. So you know, it's about over romanticizing the past, and also the opposite, like being consumed with regret. You know, and like what you should have done differently with anything.
What are you nostalgic for at the moment?
Anything that happened a long time ago. Like all of our memories always seem to become richer and stronger the longer it's been since it's happened, which is kind of what the song's about. So yeah, everything.
On that note of not overthinking things, you've actually adjusted the track borderline for this record, which is
Speaking of overthinking. Okay.
putting you on blast. No, but I think it's tighter, it's shorter.
Oh, thank you.
What was
It's better.
Your songs are too long, Kevin. No, I'm kidding.
It's true, they are.
Why did you want to adjust this one?
Honestly, I believe that I kind of just ran out of time making it. And I was so kind of in my own head about the song. Like, the way I describe it is the way it sounds now is the way that I was hearing it when I released it the first time. So like for me, the drums sounded, because the drums sounded just like heaps more hard hitting. And there were just things that I could hear in the song that I didn't realize no one else could. For example, the bass line, which is kind of just an example of your lack of perspective while you're working on a song or anything that anyone's working on ever. Like you lose perspective while you're working on it, which is good too. It's kind of beautiful that you have no idea what you're doing, And so I thought everyone was able to hear the bass line in that song. And then I slowly realized oh, no one can hear it. It just sounds like it's kind of like mixed in with the song. So
Did people say that to you?
Well, no, I mean, like no one ever says what they can't hear. I was like, anyway. But I just feel like I wasn't finished with it.
And readjusting music is something that artists have done in the past. Do you think it's a little bit of a slippery slope?
I was just about to say it's a slippery slope. It's dangerous. But I also think like the way the world changes and the way music changes and the way it's made, it like paves the way for things like that. That are new and scary at the time. But at the end of the day, like, music is what music is because of the way we listen to it and the way we make it. The fact that songs are usually 4 minutes and albums are usually 40 minutes, it's kind of just like, why are those things the way they are? Anyway, I could talk about that for ages. But, but it is dangerous, and I think it's you got to be careful.
Alongside your own work, you've collaborated with a number of different artists in the studio, particularly in the hip-hop world, Travis Scott, A$AP Rocky, Kanye West. What's the biggest lesson you've learned working with one of those artists, or all of them?
Cheesy one, but believe in yourself. All those artists are people that have, I guess, believed in themselves despite so much else going on, despite doubt from people around them, from everyone, So yeah, it's a cheesy one, but it's a very valuable lesson.
Yeah.
And I guess also to be open, not be afraid to open up to people around you, because that's when you can realize things about yourself that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Listening to the record, I feel like you've injected that self-belief and openness into this one. Would you agree?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not without. I've had to drag it out of me, but it was something that I really just wanted to, because some of my favorite music is music where people have just gone. You can just hear them going, oh, like just putting their all into being really like having this like self-belief, and I want my music to have that quality rather like, and less like doubt and holding back, because it's a powerful thing in art when that exists.
Tomorrow's Dust is a very percussive one, but what I want to ask about is the voice of the woman at the end on the phone. Who's that?
It's my wife. Yeah.
And what's she talking about?
She is I wanted to get just this kind of like ambient it's like someone talking on the phone, her talking on the phone. And because like so much of this album has to do with like the future and like what's going to happen, like the rest of your life kind of thing. And so I just got her to talk about whatever, like talk about the future, you know, like what are you going to do, like make something up. But she drew from her past, like coming back from, she spent some time in London. And when she came home, she was kind of like strung out. She didn't really know what to do. She was kind of at a loss, you know. So she was just literally talking from her own perspective a few years ago when she was kind of like, she felt like she didn't know where she was going in life and the future was so uncertain.
I kind of like the voyeuristic aspect of it as well. It feels like a phone call I'm not meant to be privy to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I love that stuff.
Yeah. On track, power ballad.
Yep.
What musical influences do you think inspired this one?
Ooh, that's a good question. Undoubtedly, but a Supertramp, because that's kind of my go-to 70s power ballad kind of reference. I mean, like, I would say Meatloaf, but that's such an uneducated reference. Like, I haven't even really listened to that much Meatloaf, but to me, that's what Meatloaf sounds like. To me, it's really like emotional song, and I feel like to anyone that can relate to this to what this song has to offer, the potential can be really powerful.
Do you have any predictions on how we're going to adjust and issue music over the next decade?
No, but I love thinking about it.
Yeah.
I love thinking about it.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, just us talking about being able to change music afterwards. Imagine if music wasn't this thing where you finish it and you put it out and then everyone, you know, it's not like a painting where it's finished. Like, you know, like in fashion designers put out a line and then they're continually evolving it over the course of the, what do you call it? Whatever it's called. In that way, fashion designers have this luxury of being able to continually change what they've started putting out at the start of the season or whatever. And musicians don't have that luxury. But why are those things the way they are? You know, so maybe there'll be like a platform of music where an artist just keeps changing, just like you just dial into a service where you listen to it, and it's every time you go back, it's a little bit different. You know, it's evolved a bit or it's changed just because that's the way it is. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think there is this obsession with the final product and the final release.
Mm-hmm. But it's good though. It's good. Like that's also good too. And I remember listening back to there's a couple of Kanye West songs that he changed, and I was like, what? You know,
don't go back.
Yeah, he made some.
Was that Life of Pablo?
I think so. Yeah. Even some songs on Yeezus, he went back and made some vocals more distorted or something.
Yeah, right.
And it was kind of like, oh, what are you doing?
Making music is such a solitary, personal practice for you. Over the years, how have you managed taking that to such huge live stages? You played Coachella last year. Mm-hmm. How do you go with your on-stage persona and taking it to these huge audiences?
I just have to accept that that's the best thing I can do for my music, you know, and just try not to be lost in my own head about it, and just be that character, do the best thing I can do for my music, even though my introverted self is kicking and screaming the entire time.
Do you ever take notes from the band on the music?
Of course,
yeah. In the making process?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, those are the guys that I rely on for the brutal, honest opinion. Mm-hmm. Or it's some of the people. Yeah.
And where do you see Tame Impala heading in the next decade?
Different places, definitely. Anything's possible. I like to think that there's like that not even I can predict like what will happen and what kind of form it'll be, because at the end of the day, it's kind of just whatever I'm doing, and I don't want to be doing the same thing that I'm doing at any point in the future, like now in the future. So yeah, can be anything. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Mm-hmm.
Well, Kevin Parker, thank you so much for coming through to Triple J today, talking us through your new record, The Slow Rush.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.